Tonight's show, we're talking about perception wars. Is reality real? And I'm answering all your questions with live readings coming up right now.
Does it look like a Devin or David?
David is his name. It's been so spot on.
And I don't know if you put it in the side of your end table. No, you said like there's something in your end table that you this too.
My God, you're crazy.
Yeah.
You might be hard on your right knee when you're running. Make sure you're not too hard on the right knee.
100%.
Okay.
Honey, I'm a runway walker.
I don't know if she's showing me flowers. Like, relay them or redo them. These purple flowers.
Oh my God, Scott, the flowers are right there. My orchids are purple. They completely are dead.
Yeah.
Did you even know? You nailed
100%.
everything, every single thing. Listen, everyone, this guy.
Tell me something that he told you that came true.
Everything he's predicted has come true.
I just don't see it.
Who doesn't have cancer?
It's very possible.
Camera's psychic who first questioned Brooke's cancer.
Scott Cruz.
Oh, there you
I know
are.
it's last
You
name.
You better question yourself. We're here to bring enlightenment, not confusion.
You might encounter negative aspects of self, but that's a freeing experience.
Because then they start realizing that they can't think outside the box. And I say, if you can't think outside the box, then who's the stupid one here? The solution for me is awakening people to the bull.
I agree.
People need to stop being deterred by nonsense. You gotta summon the people. I don't just come on here and talk or parrot. I'm living it.
In harmony with nature, in a mystical adventure, we're building on a culture.
Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to Thursday Night Live. Welcome to the Cruisyverse. How's your week been now that we're in Cancer season? Right? We're in Cancer season. My days have been flying by. New moon in Cancer. So it's a very emotional time. But I've been saying, of course, come June, July, more so end of June, July, of course, movement comes. So I'm sure you guys are feeling a lot of stirring of emotion, and we'll probably get into that in the collective read. And feeling kind of like this anxious energy of, I'm tired. I know yesterday was kind of tiring. I'm tired, but like I have this energy. I don't know what to do with. Do I go forward? So there's a lot of kind of complacent energy going on. But come July, as I've been saying, you'll feel this push forward and start engaging again and start kind of, and I said before in previous videos about, starting from a new positioning in your life, expressing things from a new position, newfound perspective, and like engaging with things the way you really truly want to. And the things that you've been trying to express, you're able to express now. So it's movement in that sense. Okay, so let's see who's chatty Cathy in the room here, shall we? Okay. Lisa Cruz, my sister from the same Mista. How's it going? Hello, good to see you. David Cruz, my father. Hello, my mother. Jennifer Cruz in the room. Brenda Zweck, Noel Way. What's going on? A lot of you guys are chatting. Darby Mayberry's in the room. A wonderful mod Nina's in his house. So if you want to get your questions in, get them in now. $15 for a card pull, $20 for one question, $30 for two questions, and $40 for a live video. The PayPal and Venmo links are in the description below. Make sure you follow that. And the live video is only for Venmo because I cannot respond back in PayPal with a link to come in. And if you have any questions, a wonderful Money will help you to figure out how to do it. So it's not too hard, but she's there to guide y'all. Casclo, good to see you. It's been some time. Good to see you as well. Sydney Aaron, hello. Creeping. Is it been creeping up on 2 years? With my live show? No. It's been like a little over a year, right? Has it been 2 years? Sydney, find out when my first one was here. I think it was a year ago. I can't be 2 years yet. If that is, that's crazy. I can't believe that. Then this show didn't need to be. We need more viewerships then. If it's been 2 years, got to grow this a little more. Catcher's Oracle Badger, good to see you. Because I'm thinking it's been 2 years. I can think. Iggy, can't you see? Are pickled prints pickable? I don't know. Can you pick pickable prints, or can pickled prints be pickable? I don't know. We should ask Peter Piker, the pepper. If Peter Piper, the pecker, knows if pickled prints are pickable, maybe he would know. Give us a prophecy. on that. I don't know what's going on there, Iggy. Horse of Sugar Hope, good to see you. Karma as well, good to see you. And those of you who are watching, I can only see who's Chatty Cathy in the room right now. And James Porterfield, good to see you as well. I can only see who's Chatty Cathy in the room. I cannot see who's watching. You have your privacy, thank God. And those who don't know, I do start with a collective read. And so with that collective read, of course, we will be using tarot and oracle cards as well. So I don't necessarily need them in a psychic meeting, but it helps in cases like this. You got to navigate and direct where to dive in as well. So let's get into the collective reading now as I'm going to shuffle these cards and see where they're going. Alma, good to see you. Caroline Catton, good to see you as well. And happy you're here with everybody too. Y'all. And Rhonda, good to see you as well. Y'all make me happy. I'm feeling a little flighty today, so you might get a little bit of flighty Scott, but I'm sure with a little bit of flighty Scott, there might be a ranting Scott that might come out of nowhere. I was like looking at starting my TikTok over again and, you know, just kind of engaging more and putting more content in there because I really feel like it's time for me to start focusing on social media more than I have, and like I've been resisting. So I'm like, I can't resist it. Let's dive into it and just make it work. So I was going through some older videos, older rants. I'm like, I haven't really ranted in a while, or maybe I have. I don't know, but who knows? Ooh, I like these cards coming out here. I hope this is not going to be like redundant and repetitive, because a lot of times week to week things don't really change, but you know, maybe I'll need to hear that. Ooh, interesting. I wonder what they're going to tell you. And even these cards could be rather generic. I like to go deeper with it too, and not just kind of say what the obvious representation is of the card. I use my psychic awareness to say, okay, well, this is what we really have to talk about in regards to that. It's inspiration. Isn't that weird? It's very contrasting. A flighty-dighty Scott and a ranty Scott. How does that even work? I don't know. That means probably I'm all over the place. But that's okay. That's my aqua vibe. I think my aqua vibes are shining through. Because, gosh, if I was leaning on my Virgo rising right now in Cancer season, oy vey. Jesus Christos. All right, just kind of seeing any type of additional cards. It's not. They're saying no. It's kind of what I pulled is what I pulled. Let's just pull oracles and we'll get into this, actually. Yeah, it's been a spacey day, hasn't it? It's been kind of like, you know, fight out age. You know, how again? Good to see you. Let's go deep. Let's go deep. That term could be used in so many different formats, can't it? Okay. Oh, I like these oracle cards too as well. Interesting. Give me a couple seconds. Let me tune in and we'll start with this. Okay. Okay. This is a question Spirit wants to ask you. And I know I've said this before a couple of weeks. We're going to start here, but we'll go, I promise, more complex. But are you the one steering your life right now? What's steering your life right now? Are ideas of past ideologies or past religious aspects or past patterns, is that driving the show right now in your life? Is the past relationship that was deprived of driving your life right now? Is the worries and the fears and trepidations of the future because of other people's perspective, what you should be doing in the future, is that driving the show right now? What's really driving the show right now? When you sit back and ask yourself, like, why things have not been moving, you sit back and ask yourself why things might have been, you know, panning out the way you want to. What's really driving the show that's rendering those results or causing you to experience that? Because if you were driving the show and you're driving the ship, so to speak, I was trying not to use ship because I use ship all the time. And so the car, the Benz, right? Whatever you're driving, are you really driving it? And are you driving your show out of spite? You're just trying to get out of wherever you're coming from just to try to get somewhere new without direction? Because then your fears are still driving the show here. So it's important that we're conscious to understand what the hell is driving the show and why am I experiencing the things I'm experiencing in my life now or not? Why am I deprived of the experiences? But also if things are going in your favor, going in a new direction, that's also a result of what you've done and the actions and the steps that you've taken too. So even when good things happen, for some reason, we want to give credit to thank God, thank the universe. Like, what about yourself? Why don't you thank yourself and understand, oh, I got myself here so I can get myself to the next step? You or I got myself here, but I also put myself in that deep hole I was in a couple months ago, right? It's understanding that what are you consciously driving, or your subconscious driving the show, or the ideas of others driving the show, or the anticipation of what people might say to you or approve of you or not that's driving the show. It's time to understand what's driving. Because right now, and I've been saying again, because we're in Cancer season and there's going to be a lot happening in July, a lot of energy movement in July. I've been saying this. And if that movement picks up and something else is driving the show, expect that to increase. Expect that to expand more. So if anxiety is driving your show, expect yourself to be in a shitstorm of anxiety for July. If worry, fear is driving the show, or politics and the end of the world and Armageddon and fear of Armageddon is driving the show, expect to feel more Armageddon in the sense of July. Expect to see that all around you. Because whatever's driving the show right now is going to be put into tangible manifestation in July because of the movement and the emphasis of things coming to light and things come to realization as they've come in June, but more so in July. And so we can't blame other people because of the things we're experiencing. If you're in deprivation of love, then expect all that deprivation of love in July to be exposed to you, which means that relationship probably will come to an end, or perhaps that relationship too that you thought was cheating and you've been depriving yourself of freedom, perhaps they actually break up with you because they've been cheating and leave you, right? And so you can't let the other circumstances and situations drive the show, because when they're driving the show, you're unconscious of what's happening and why it's happening and what will happen next. And so in these moments in our astrology, right, the collective currents that are going on here, we need to understand what is going on with our collective currents, so how to utilize it and ride the waves, right? Because a lot of collective currents say that we need to introspect, we need to look within. It's not about pushing right now. It's about kind of looking within and learning more about the self. And so if you push during that time, boom, nothing's going to happen. Things will backfire. Or I keep trying and nothing's manifest. I keep trying and nothing's happening. I keep trying, nothing's getting back to me, because the astrology and the time, if you're using your intuition, the time states to be self-reflective right now. Don't push. And so I always love to, to give the example of a wavelength, as we see, the energy wavelength. That, there's up and a down. There's always going to be up and a down. Of course, we want our wavelength to go upward, where every down is higher than the last down. But we don't have to define the downs as negative or depriving moments. It's like, just as you go up and build momentum, you have energy, you express, then you come down, you can exhale in life, which means rest, relaxation, introspection period, right? So, excuse me. So it's important to understand that flow, that rhythm of life. And people say, oh, I'm in the flow. They don't know what the flow is, because the flow isn't just one tone, one consistent frequency of being, because that's what flatlining is, which is death. There's no movement. There's no life to that. So flow has movement. What is that flow? And so if you understand the down part of your experience is all about rest, relaxation, realization, introspection, then when it's time to go up, you're prepared to express. And then you have downtime and rest, relaxation. And you just feel this like upward movement, inward, upward, inward, outward movement of life. And that's what makes life exciting. That's where life becomes joyful. But some people like say, well, I'm supposed to feel joy right now. So like, I'm going to put on this false sense of joy because like, I'm supposed to be happy. Yeah, I'm happy. Yeah. That face of I just like crazy eyes. I'm happy. Yeah. Hi. Is that joyful? That looks like someone who's like about to like burst into tears, trying to pretend like they're happy. And everything always goes back to Febreze watered down fart, right? Because even when they're like trying to be happy and putting on a fake smile, there's always that kind of like, I smelt the fart, happy, like, yeah, hi. So don't be in the Febreze watered down fart energy. Clear it out. Clear out the stench. Don't just try to, cover things up, and brush over things and beat around the bush. Get to the point. And you don't always have to be in the state of joy. No, because you're not in the state of joy doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. It means that we have a dynamic of life. Life, what is it? And if you're resisting those moments, they're going to get greater. Like we said previously, like I said, going into July, the things you're resisting will persist. And I hate to sound cliche in that, but they will become grandeur and lot bigger in July, more obvious in July, right? And so it's really important to understand about this movement. So that was the Six of Swords coming up first. I didn't show the cards. I keep forgetting to show the cards. And so that's all about movement. But, that's also my overseas card, taking a trip card. But for me, in this philosophical space, it's saying about movement, taking travel, like actually moving ahead, going to the destination, the long-awaited destination, as we call it, right? And the Wheel of Fortune card. Look, guys, this is like the third week in a row this has come out. and then collective reads. I think, unless it just came out a lot in the live readings. But this is all about a new cycle, beginning a new cycle. This is all about change. This is all about, also we think Wheel of Fortune. All we hear when we hear that is fortune, or we think of like the show Wheel of Fortune, like we're winning something, we're getting something. It's like, it's not really all about you getting things. Like you're not a child waiting for Santa Claus to appear. You're a grown-ass adult, mature soul consciousness that says, I'm ready to experience a new chapter, which will feel like fortune to me because I'm expressing the things that I've been building for so long. That's the fortune. I was gonna say that's the Febreze. I just caught that. That's the Febreze. No, that's the fortune. Okay. And so we understand about like this cycle of life and cycle of our experiences. And even with seasons, we have seasons that change, and certain fruits and vegetables are available during certain seasons. If we understand about our own self-consciousness and how we're experiencing life through our emotions and our spiritual evolution, we won't have to go full force all the time. We don't have to be going, I gotta go, I gotta do. We don't put in that modality anymore. And then and that's what creates the unconscious experience of why things are happening. Why is this happening to me? Let's sit back and think about that type of, expression. Why is this happening to me? Is the universe punishing me? Like, what's going on? Like, this is what is that energy? That's out of control. That's not clear about they have any decisions in their life. That's also someone saying there's something else that's doing it to me, not me. When someone says, why is this happening to me? It's like, well, where's it coming from? And you're the one feeling the emotions you are feeling. Why are you feeling the emotions that you're feeling based on what is happening to you? And so paying attention, being conscious to those emotions will give you clear insight of what you've been missing, what you've been trying to pacify or override. Because you got to go and get things, right? That's not the fortune. The fortune is the feeling. It's the new beginnings, that new cycles, new current that you get to express yourself. It's the realization and wisdom that you have about self and about life that makes you feel like you can actually enjoy it without sitting back and looking at all the things that are wrong with it. Right? And so, that's kind of the issue. And so that's, of course, we have fortune cards. So that's what it means here in this read here. But the Lover's card comes third. Some people are like, my single life is ending, It's like, don't go, not too fast there. This Lover's card in this particular read is really reflecting what I've been saying for the past 6 months about, the May, June, July, mid 2025. It's really all about, and I'm going to say there are those you probably will start a relationship or find love actually in July. So this actually might be the summer of love for some of you. You actually might begin that in a relationship, or the relationship that you've been working on. Actually, you get to enjoy. It really, you feel that bonding, you feel that emotional connection and synergy and synchronicity in July, and you're able to also express how you've been reserving the love, and when any type of fear of vulnerability goes out the window, you're like, it's time to express. That's how I'm going to be secured if I express it and don't hold it back. And so a lot of those realizations will come into play for July during this time. That's why the Lover's card is coming up in that retrospect, in that aspect. And so that also means too, some of you are not relationship focused. Surprisingly, a lot of my clients they're more career focused than relationship focused. I wonder why. And so some of you guys make your career and your passions in that sense your love. So there might be great career changes in July this next month. There might be a lot of great career realizations or upticks or new expressions coming to manifestation because it's bringing the passion out of you. Let's take advantage of this Cancer energy, right? This Cancerian energy is all about emotions and that fluidity of emotions and realizing it and understanding it and expressing it. Right? And so let's please find our love. And so that's what this July is going to evoke within a lot of us. And so love comes in so many different formats. And if you really deserve love, then one relationships that you might be in July will just end if they haven't ended between May, June, or July. Or excuse me, between May and July, if they haven't ended, they will end in July for sure. They'll have to. They will have to. And so come with it at the perspective of, like we said, you're making change, you're moving, you're starting a new cycle, and it's all about like this newfound perspective and expression of love. What does that mean for you? And so many of you guys focus so much about like when you think about like being in love, how you're loving them, how you're texting them, how you're chasing them. You need to start envisioning how it's going to be like intellectually, get your mind on board, right? To understand what does it look like and feel like if someone's loving me. Someone's showing me the attention. Someone's calling me up. Someone's wanting to cuddle me up. Someone's wanting to text me up and phone me up and eat me up and all that great stuff, right? Understand that parameter and then take a step back and start envisioning the chemistry between the two of you guys, between you and that partner. What is the chemistry? How do you guys interact with each other? So many people are just saying, a lot of you guys want relationships who are single. You're just only envisioning like some nice guy around. So I'm like, some hot person's in front of me, and that's what I'm envisioning. It's like, okay, but that doesn't tell a story. So yeah, you'll meet someone who like you think is hot, but they'll have no substance because you didn't create the substance or activate the substance within you to seek out or to decode in the physical reality, right? So be specific and understand what the dynamic is of love, and whatever that might be. If it's relationships or if it's a career, what is that dynamic? What is it bringing to you, and how are you participating with it as well? So many vapid people in this world, in this reality, go to psychics because they're lonely and they're like, I want love. Where's my true love? And I want the guy to love me, but they're not participating at all. They show up and they're just like on their phones, or they're just like, they don't know how to talk. They don't know how to converse. There's nothing attractive about them. They just like show up and thinking someone's supposed to just like them just because they want love. It's like, how are you participating? So I'm using that extreme example because some of you guys may not be participating enough, and just maybe you're closed up, or you're in fear and you don't want to engage because you're afraid of being vulnerable, or you don't want to be hurt, and saying you're not bringing anything to the table. You still have to participate. You still have to participate despite of what's happened to you in your past circumstances. If something major happened in your past circumstances, that doesn't mean it's going to happen in every circumstance. Doesn't mean it's embedded in every circumstance. So stop treating every circumstance like an unfortunate experience, or an experience that you didn't care for, didn't like, or that hurt you. Okay, but that doesn't mean that's everything in life, right? So let's be rational about this, so then we can continue to participate and express and engage, evolve, grow, so we can actually experience and express the things we really want to. Okay, and that's what really about releases, because it's a card saying about release. I'm very flighty, so thank God these tonight, because I could go all over the place tonight. But thank God these cards are helping to guide me, and it's on par with the it's on par with the ordering of the cards. But that's what releasing really is. Right? And so some of you guys have to understand what release means and letting go means. And it sounds so cliche, and I know I say it all the time, but letting go just means that you're still holding on, and why you're still holding on. And when you understand why you're still holding on, and why you need to not hold on, and what you need to grab onto next, you will let go of the things that you've been holding on to. And so when you process it that way, then letting go makes more sense than just hearing, well, you gotta let go. I mean, we hear all this crap all the time, and yeah, this is letting go of the fear, but gaining the hunger. Okay? You're releasing. So you're letting go of the fear, but that's creating more hunger. Let the fear be the driving force in your life. Let it be the thing that creates that hunger within you. Say, I do deserve better. I deserve more. Because the fear is telling you that you do. Because if you really did not believe in the things that you believed in, or really didn't feel like you deserved the things you deserved, fear, anxiety, depression would not manifest. The fear, anxiety, depression, when you think about like, I'm not worth it to be in a relationship, and you feel anxiety and fear, status of that emotion is telling you that's not true, because if it was true, there would be no discord energy. Think about when things are true, there's no discord energy. It's just like, it feels correct. It's like, yeah, there's no arguments. There's no, fighting against it. There's no discord. But when there's discord, you don't agree. Your soul doesn't agree with whatever you're trying to present. And so we have to understand, let those emotions, the fear, the anxiety, the worry, depression, the hurt, all those emotions that feel painful in that sense, right, to us, but it's just an alert system to say, I don't agree with this. You don't agree with this. Maybe we need to like redirect and focus on another avenue, intellectually, emotionally, spiritually, and find out what the real deal is here. What is the real deal here? Right? And so that's the point. And so we have to get this on board for July. We have to. And so, the manifestation thing, you all know, those you know me and been watching me for some time, know that I don't really like the whole manifestation bullshit craze, right? Because it's not what it's presenting. It's not really how it's presented is how it really works. We can align with reality when we're in sync and tuned to our soul, because we are in a collective reality, a matrix of energy here. And we'll get it. This is kind of leading into the topic too a little bit. Is that we have a subjective reality that we need to understand what we're experiencing, but we also have to understand how our subjective reality coincides with the collective reality. And when we do so, then we become in sync, and things do happen. Things do manifest. Like things do like kind of, you'll think they manifest out of nowhere, but you're so in tune. Your soul is maneuvering through physical reality and being attracted to every little different aspect that's guiding you in the path that resonates with your true self. And that's why it feels joyful and happy. And, because, your desires are your spec sheet. The desires that you have is a spec sheet to who you really are and who you should be expressing. So when we understand all that, then we actually we can be very intuitive with how we're maneuvering around life and, lead us in so many different situations. And those who are also being intuitive and going through this matrix and soup of energy, they're also being attracted to things that coincide, align, and bump into each other that match. And so that's really how this law of attraction works, but it's all done by action and expression, not just because you imagine something. So imagination is a great starting point, and you're creating your blueprint. We got to get in tune with the emotions now and feeling those emotions as we're in Cancer season and so forth. So that's very, 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 very important and imperative that we do so. Okay, because once you do, I think a lot of things that you guys, the seeds you've been planting, you'll start seeing. You'll be able to start harvesting, and a lot of things should have been coming to light for you guys this month. A lot of realizations within yourself and changes you want to be making. A lot of that introspective stuff should have been done in June. If you haven't done that, then hurry up and do it before mid-July comes, because mid-July it's going to be like really kind of. Early July is you're gonna start feeling things are picking up, and so mid-July, forget about it. It's gonna be kind of intense for a lot of you. But those of us who've been riding the wave, we're gonna be like, whoa, this feels cool. We're gonna be enjoying that in a very chill nature, in a very peaceful nature. So which leads me to now this. What is the topic? It leads us to the chat here. The chat is reality real? Is it real? And I thought about saying this topic because I'm just seeing a lot of people somewhat burying their heads in the sand, in a sense, through pseudoscience, pseudo-spirituality, religion, and so we have to ask ourselves, to what degree is reality itself real? So it's like I was saying before, the first step is understanding about what is our own subjective reality. And our subjective reality all entails about our own personal experiences, and we can go as far as saying our past incarnations, understanding all that type of evolution, all those things that we have up to this point. How do I see life? What do I feel I need next in my life? And understand the complete essence of your subjective reality. Right? And that also includes, your sense of morale, like what is the morals that you possess and what do you feel is right or wrong, all that basic stuff too, you're reminded of, but you're also understanding the belief you possess and whether or not the beliefs that you possess do coincide where you want to go in the future, right? All that inner work, all that spiritual work, self-love stuff, that's your subjective reality. So of course it's real because you're experiencing it. Right? And it's real because when you participate, interact with it, it's bringing you energy back. So there's a real experience going on there. Whether or not now things are physical, because we can say in physics, on the subatomic level, like a particle just has empty space. So therefore, it's not real. None of this is real. It doesn't really exist. What does that even mean? Okay, even if it's holographic, are you still not conscious? Do you still not have feeling, and do you still not have an interaction and experience with things? You do, so it's real. We do not need to consider and over contemplate the structure of this physical matrix and vibration and tone and frequency to disconnect ourselves. Well, it doesn't matter. It's not real anyways. None of it's real. None of it means anything. That's bullshit. See, we're here to put meaning into our experiences, but the meaning in our experiences is just reflective and evident of our personal soul evolution and how much wisdom we are obtaining, how much we're expanding our perspective, become a more powerful being that's very sufficient and sovereign. That's the point. But when you understand that and how that coincides with your subjective reality, then what happens is you can start looking at the collective reality now. And how do you fit in with the collective reality? There is a collective reality, people. Many people just think that, like, oh no, what you imagine, that's how you create reality. Just, imagine this. It's like, that's not how it works. We're still embedded in the collective reality. And there, we can say an infinite amount of energy, people, whatever you want to say, is aligned with our energy state too in the physical reality. So we're all kind of collectively shifting at the same time. Some are slowing down, some are speeding up. And so you can't change that. There is an actual solid objective reality we're also coinciding with too. It's like saying that you don't exist. Right, just because if someone doesn't want to, if someone could view you and someone says, well, if they don't want me to exist, they don't have to. You don't just disappear just because they don't believe you exist. You still exist, right? So one subjective reality doesn't necessarily mean it actually coincides or is aligned with the collective reality. You see, the point here is you want to understand how to merge your subjective with the objective. And the collective, of course. When you do, then you actually can find more of your purpose, because we are here to embed ourselves into the soup of energy to where we understand how everything needs to work in harmony. What is our voice in this participation of collective that brings harmony? Or chaos. Some are called to create chaos. I mean, we've talked about this last night in Leading Out Loud, that some people are called here to create chaos so you can have the experiences that you need to grow. So you can have the experiences that's going to bring you out of your own personal hell and realize, oh my gosh, I found my strength through those hard times. So some people are called to incarnate to bring chaos too. What is your purpose? What is that expression? How are you incarnate? How are you embedded in the collective, in this objective reality that's going to bring harmony, or at least bring your voice to the picture that keeps the gears working collectively too? Because part of this 5D Earth people, y'all want to talk 5D, but then you want to talk about, oh no, reality is subjective, and no, there is no truth, nothing exists. That is not fucking 5D. That's 2D. That's 2D. No, just like, I just don't think about it, because what you focus on becomes manifest. So if I don't focus on the negative people, they don't exist in my mind. Oh, that's just you running away. That's you being complacent and being in Delulu land, because you don't have the strength to confront difficulty or challenge. You want to just run away from that as an excuse of saying, well, this is a matrix, and so I took my red pill. Bullshit. That's not how it works. A red pill means you understand that you're not a slave to the matrix, even though you are in a sense, but you have a way out of that by understanding why you are participating in it and what the purpose is in that, right? And so we have to understand, like, the collective is the reflections and how we get to decide how we're evolving and participating. We need that. That's 5Ds, by seeing that broader connectivity and also being collectively focused. That is 5D. And especially now through our evolution, through our human species experience, that we have to understand, how can we be more unified now? We're not unified. We haven't been unified for a long time. Right? And so, but that's what 5D is, learning how to be such. And whether or not the whole entire world gets it, a lot of people are getting that. You at least will mingle with others who are getting it too, because you're doing that in your perspective. You're maneuvering, like we said earlier, in reality based on what you're attracted to, what you feel, what you vibe with, and it's matching with others who are doing the same thing, express themselves the same way. You will then start feeling like the whole world is doing it, because you're finding a saturation of what you're embedding your subjective reality into too, but allowing yourself to connect with it in the collective as well. And then you'll be able to see collective reality for what it is, and understand, I don't have to judge it. It's all real. It's all real. If you're experiencing it, it's real. So we got to stop putting your head in the sands. Stop trying to push things out and not want to look at it and pretend like I can't give it energy. Instead of saying, okay, come here, talk to me, sit down here, fear, sit in my chair, sit in my office. What are you trying to say? What do you think I'm missing here? Tell me, please give me the nuggets of wisdom. No, I can't look at it. So you want to welcome it in and just have a discussion with it. And that's what I've done in my life. I'd sit it down and have a discussion. What are you trying to tell me? Because it's all you. It's all you. And you're not the only person in existence either that's deciding to have a dense physical experience. We are all connected in the sense. We're all connected to that God particle energy. The God particle makes up all of us. So we're all connected. So there's so many infinite amount of souls that are also incarnated in physical 3D reality and having an experience. So you're going to bump and mingle with them as well. So don't think that it's all in your head, everyone's fake and all made up. That's another delusional lie to keep you detached from your own personal experience, keep you detached from the collective and mingling with the collective and making change. That's another, I would say, psyop. Mind control bullshit to say I created them. They don't really exist. Nothing really exists. So then why participate then if nothing exists, right? So that's the whole, the virus of that type of thinking, the virus of that type of mentality. So no, we are here to interact. There are other souls incarnate that we are mingling with, that are teaching, and some we're bumping into from past incarnations, and that we're unconscious to. Some actually come in your life for a season because they're a lover from past life that just need to help you out in this timeline, and it's very intricate. It's very dynamical. It isn't just like we have this magnificent life, lights out, we're done. There's not none of that too, and that's one thing I struggle with atheism, is that all because it hasn't been proven doesn't mean it doesn't exist, and doesn't mean it's not real, right? Because science hasn't gone there yet. Science hasn't found cures for the most, I wouldn't say simplest diseases, but these diseases have been around for quite some time. They supposedly haven't found, right, the evidence or cures for such. Doesn't necessarily mean there is none or they can't do it in the future. And how much of this information is actually suppressed doesn't mean it's real either. But we have to just think rationally. And so I always say when atheists or people don't believe in spirit, just think like, oh, there's this wonderful creation and this intelligence, but therefore there's nothing to reflect on that intelligence. The intelligence itself just exists, but there's really no purpose for the intelligence. It just goes on. Goes on that we don't get to experience anything back. We all this conscious experience of energy, and boom, lights out. We don't reflect on that. Does that rationally make sense when everything in creation and life shows an evolution, shows a cycle? And a purpose and a meaning behind these things, right? And so we have to ask ourselves, because there's no evidence of something in a collective, does that mean it's not real too, based on where we're at in our collective evolution? That's why we got to go back to our subjective reality and say, okay, my subjective reality now, there doesn't really seem to be any type of evidence for what I'm experiencing, but then in your own personal life, there is physical evidence of such. That's real. That's a real experience. And there's many other people that are having real experiences right now and that are supernatural that are actually not able to be validated physically. But does that mean everyone's just crazy? Is that how we just kind of deem everything? Oh, they're just crazy. Then it's a mental illness. All these complexities of things, but like there's no consciousness reflection afterward. So for me, based on how I look at life and how things are structured in life and existence, it's more rational that it's real that we live on after our physical experiences. It makes more sense to me because then we can reflect. We're actually here to evolve. We reincarnate at different lifetimes because we're learning lessons. And many people children have incarnated and say, I was Marcus Smith and I lived on 24-5 Burberry Lane. And they go and investigate, and there was a Mark Smith that lived on 25-55 Burberry Lane who was a cow herder. And how do these children have this information? How do they know? They can't prove it. But in itself, that linkage is evidence that it's real, that we do have experiences life to life and connections. So that's why it's important for us to understand this, because there's a lot of things out there like religion and all this other, I would say, new age bullshit. It's hard to know what's real. But in a sense, what you're experiencing is, and there's a reason for all of that too. And if you were being delulu and having a mental illness, that experience in itself is real for a reason, because you have to learn how to evolve through those discordant thoughts, or those delulu energies, as I call them. So it all is real because you're experiencing it. You do not have to try to figure out what's real for somebody else or anybody else, but you want to understand how to participate in collective based on what others are experiencing, and then understand how your role fits in with that, and then becomes all real because it's all experience. It's all for a purpose of evolution. Evolution. That's the purpose. That's the point. That's why we're here. And evolution means that once we evolve from physicality, we evolve into a spiritual perspective. We get to reflect and understand the meaning and purpose of why we had this experience to begin with. Not that it's just miraculous life of just these cells that just keep expanding, and these cells just become conscious aware, but then they don't become conscious again. For what purpose if there's not even any type of consciousness to reflect on its cycling? And if my human brain is challenged by that idea of nothing existing after life and so forth, and conscious experience, and my physical brain is like, that doesn't make sense. Obviously, the larger part of ourselves can make more sense of it. Because everything has to have a solution. There's no solution to the fact of what's the purpose then. What is the purpose of life? As drastic as it is, there's no purpose. That doesn't solve the question. No purpose is not an answer, because everything has a purpose. There's a reason for things. That's why things are connected. That's why you see things evolve together collectively in a cycle and shifting and shaping, and just how everything just coincides with things. Everything has a purpose to work in harmony. So it's time that we have to also understand to our core what is real for us. And if you want to make things real that are not proven within science today, be curious enough to participate in the supernatural, in your intuition, into your metaphysical abilities. Dive in. Because many people, you can dive into online who have so many different experiences or captured weird supernatural activity on camera and all this stuff, and people who are coming out because they feel comfortable now to come out and share their experiences and near-death experiences where it's not. I saw a neurosurgeon. She had a near-death experience. She drowned in a lake and was brain dead for 15 minutes. But she recalls leaving the body and seeing, because she was underwater, seeing people on top of the ground. She couldn't physically see what they were doing, who was there. And then she came back to life, and she was able to recall everything that happened that she couldn't see. They are astonished. Like they had no clue how she would know that. It wasn't like, the brain all of a sudden came up with an image or a picture, and, she was remotely viewing. And so she then became very spiritual because of that experience. Because, there's no way being brain dead, completely brain dead, how our brain could even process. We all know DMT. Your brain pumps out DMT when you're born, pumps out DMT when you die, because that's a way of kind of keeping the incarnation and the leaving of the body a pleasant experience, right? So some can argue, well, the DMT makes you hallucinate, but how can the hallucination itself predict what's happening when the brain is not even working? The brain is dead, brain dead. So she remained. I wish I remembered her name, and I should come prepared because I don't prepare my talks. I just have a theme and I talk about it. But maybe I should start preparing some things in the future. I'll start changing things. I prepare topics and prepare things. But she went on to now her mission is to prove about the afterlife and try to measure that now. And so I think that's wonderful because that's real to her, and there's evidence to show there's no way to explain it. So dive deep into your curiosities of your own intuition, your own mystical supernatural abilities, and prove it real. Because a lot of us have been doing that, and the more we kind of share our experiences, you start realizing there's no way in hell someone across the country I don't know had the same exact experience as I did. And we're not on medications, we're not Delulu. We pretty much are pretty clear and pretty perspective, and our healthy skepticism tells us so, right? And so that's why we all question it, because we understand we're not being delusional. We want to make sure we're buying into what is true. And so when you allow yourself to experience that and it becomes real for you, let it be real. And so yes, reality itself, every aspect of it is real. Even those who are mentally ill, that is real, because they're seeing that for a reason. They're in an emotional state that's creating these delusions. However, it's real to them because that's what they have to experience to evolve, and to not so much just to evolve in the soul, but to evolve out of karma. That's why they're having those experiences. So it's real. It's all real. Stop with this nothing's real bullshit. It's another detachment to get you to not think nothing serious. And and it's always good to. I was talking to Christopher about this on Leaning Out Loud about it's good to have this state of objectivity where, you can see yourself from the God perspective. He likes to say, oh, we're in a video game, none of it's real. So he's kind of having that kind of experience right now. And I'm like, no, it's all real, but it's good to understand it's a video game because we're choosing to play it, but we have to experience what we're experiencing to play this game to evolve and to win it and to evolve out of it. That's the point. So we can take a step back, but it doesn't mean we don't participate. And just because everything is meaningless in that sense, everything has a meaning, everything has a definition. We are putting the definitions on that. So you definitely want to be aligned with your own subjective reality. Make sure what your definitions also match with an objective truth. And then you'll be on par. Then life becomes so clear to you. Things become really fun and happy and joyful. You understand the purpose and everything, and the meaning behind things become very evident to you. What other people put meaning behind, then you could actually experience their meaning, and then you can put your own meaning behind it and realize, oh, this is kind of fun. Yeah, so it's here to be played with. Life is a tool. It's all real. Yes, reality is real. Just like dreaming is real. People, they say if you don't dream, you would be dead. Right? That's what scientists say. And so you have to dream to stay alive. And so even though you don't remember your dreams, you're still dreaming. Right? And so does that mean because you're not physically experiencing, does that mean your dreams aren't real? When they say it's necessary to have dreams to survive, that's real too. It's a real process. It's a real experience. Your brain is a real thing. Your thoughts are a real thing. Your perception is a real thing. It's all real things. It's all real. And the more you allow yourself to understand, even though there are times where spirituality is kind of still looked down and as not being real and concrete, at least you will be in your own evolution to understand it is concrete for me, and in time it will be solidified and confirmed, because I psychically know that. I feel that probably by 2030. So thankfully we'll live to see it. You know, so that's the point. It's all fucking real. Deal with it. Okay? Stop running from it. I don't care what Delulu perspectives you have. And I saw a video yesterday. This is what inspired me. Someone posted a video in the Leading Out Loud about some guy talking about how to stop the reincarnation cycle. How to not reincarnate again. Like, I'm like, bitch, you incarnated because you wanted to incarnate. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, you wanted to incarnate. We here, Spice Soul, so I got to incarnate. I have some stuff to resolve. I have some stuff I want to do here. You didn't come here and say, I'm enslaved here. I got to, like, not get out of this, don't incarnate here again. Those people are enslaved. They're still dealing with enslavement energy, thinking that physical incarnation is slavery. Right? Yeah, we're in a matrix, but we're not in a sense, we're a slave to it, like as if you're a slave to abiding by the rules of chess when you're playing chess. So you're a slave to the rules of Monopoly when you're playing Monopoly, but it doesn't mean you didn't choose to play the freaking game just because there's rules to it. There's rules to physical reality that we agreed to when we incarnated. So we're not going to stop reincarnating. We might reincarnate in another, dimensional reality that's maybe higher than planet Earth, and we'll come back at some point again, maybe. So stop buying that stupid nonsense of like, oh, like I do this and to not reincarnate again, like break the matrix. This is more detachment, more delusion, which keeps you disconnected from the collective, and why our planet is in decline because everyone's off in their little Delulu states. And so then the universe has to send someone in to like try to aggravate people, to wake people up, to realize, wait, hold on a second, this country's it's got a hand now. I got to stand up and do something now. It's like, yeah, because y'all been your old Delulu manifestation course, the not reincarnating course, thinking it happens bullshit, right? Not participating in what you're supposed to do with your purpose, because you're actually disconnecting from what is real and from what reality really is. And a lot of you fear. There's a lot of people that you guys fear that reality is actually real, and that's why you go down that path, because you feel out of control to it. But it's time to take control of your own personal reality. It's time to take control of your own subjective reality, so you understand how to mingle with the collective reality. Then you don't feel that stuff. So much crap I see, and people just send links like they think it's some sort of groundbreaking spiritual philosophy, and I'm like, oh my god, this is the most dumbest thing I've heard in my fucking life. And these people think they're actually like professing wisdom about like, you don't want to reincarnate again. It's like, bitch, we chose to. There ain't nobody else holding us in enslavement mentality that forced us to incarnate. You're not, and no one's forcing you to stay alive now too. That's why people take their life. They're not forced to. We're not forced to do anything. So when we understand this, we understand we're free. We wanted to be here. We chose to incarnate. It's all real. Great. Let's have fun with this. If I chose to be here, there's got to be some enjoyment or something I'm really wanting to focus on here. Let's embrace that now. And, a lot of things have been collapsing, in June. And so as I also say, in Revelation thing being revealed, that's going to continue on in July too. And that's where the truth is going to start coming out and being expressed for you collectively and individually too. So, stop with this Delulu nonsense. That's my my philosophical, high, profound advice is stop the Delulu bullshit. Okay. No, but you guys understand what I'm saying, and break yourselves free of these chains, guys. Chains of judgment, chains of it has to be a certain way. You have to have certain things. You didn't have, break those chains from you. Because I promise you, when you do, life just becomes really clear. How do I know? I've been on both ends of that. I'm now on the end where life is clear. I'm not trying to, check a box. I'm like, I feel this. I want more wisdom. I want to learn this. I want to express this. And I'm doing it. And enjoying my environment, and understand like I used to be so hard on myself about what I have to achieve in life and how I'm supposed to achieve it. I let go of that a long time ago, and life has been more fulfilling than it's ever been. More magical than it's ever been. So, and now I understand I've been resisting, and I'm going to close here on the topic. I've been resisting the social media thing, and like feeling like I don't want to beg people for viewership. I don't want to beg people for likes. I'm not doing it for that, and I don't want to beg and like try to push so hard about like what I'm doing, and because it's like it's I want it to be natural, but Spirit's like it should be natural for you to want to share your message. I'm like, got me. It should be natural to share your message. It should be natural that you want to gather people around. It should be natural to you that you want to create a community. Is that what you're trying to do, Scott? I'm like, yeah. And they're saying, so why are you resisting the parameters of social media? Because that's what you're trying to do. You're not trying to do it for fame. You're not trying to do it for, fame in the superficial sense. You're not doing it because you're trying to validate you. You just want to share a message. You want people to enjoy. You want to reach more people. So that's why you're doing it. So get into your fucking social media, Spirit said. I'm like, got it. Got it. Because I've been holding that back. And a lot of people, I get DMs, people saying, why aren't you bigger? Like, why aren't you have more followers? I'm like, well, it's only been a year. It takes a long time on YouTube. But I said, I always look at those questions. I say, it's because I've been so I don't want to fame for the wrong reasons. I don't want, to have a bigger audience for the wrong reasons, and that's been holding me back in that sense. So I'm being transparent with you guys that you might start seeing me, saying those YouTube things again, like subscribe, and what's the other thing, hit the notification bell. I might start having to start do that. And I would love if you guys can help me to share my content and comment and to engage and to help build the channel more. So I can spread the word and have have a larger community that's consistent. So help me on this journey. I'm humbly asking you because it's difficult me as an aqua to think that way. Okay. So, anywho, before we get into live readings, let's have a quick, wonderful message from Nina.
Thursday crew. So tapped in fresh. I kept seeing the imagery from my guides of a Rubik's Cube, and I heard seemingly complicated, but easy to fix. There's just one tick of the Rubik's Cube left to solve it, to solve the puzzle. There's only one more piece, or there's one more tick of the Rubik's Cube. And I heard seemingly complex, thinking that this obstacle or this circumstance or the small change that you want to make feels so big, but they're saying it's as simple as a tiny, tick of the Rubik's Cube, and then you have it all solved and figured out. But I heard patience and diligence and consistency is the key. And then take a deep breath, and almost kind of like a chiropractic adjustment. It's just one click. And being able to change a little thing here or there will help what you're doing in the long run. But they're saying it's not as complex as you think, and it's not as difficult and tiresome as you have been making it so far.
Thank you for that, Nina. That is so good. And yes, exactly. One little change, one little tweak here, guys. Yes, Nina, thank you so much for that addition. I love it. Yes, one little tweak. Y'all you already kind of reworked on so many other pieces. Don't fuck up what you already worked. It's just a little thing right here that you're missing. That's it. Boom. Then click in gear. Boom. Right? So, yes, exactly. Thank you. Nina says get on TikTok, Scott. Well, Nina, are you psychic? I don't know if I told you I wanted to talk to you about that because something told me to get on TikTok. Again, to do my TikTok. Oh, I did it. I stopped it. I was just like, ugh. I have more platforms to post on now. So something told me to start that again. So I'm starting it. So I might want to, that's the chat we might have, Nita, about how maybe you can help me run that instead of doing all these other clips. Maybe I don't need to be clipping up, my lives here and as content. Maybe I should just fucking, spend the time creating short content videos and you manage my TikTok. So we'll talk about that. So yeah, because I had another synchronicity through Serious Joy with that too. So anyway, thank you so much for that, Nina. Let's get into the live reading segments. Y'all been waiting, right? And so get your questions in now, guys, because I'm going to close up early. So let's see. Let me pull up my thing like a chicken wing. And just for Iggy, is Iggy even in the room still? Iggy even there? wait, hold on. This one yet. While you're waiting, I'm putting some pensive music for Iggy. Usually he was always like music. Okay. I'm going to my PayPal too. There's only one here, which is fine. I'm completely fine with that. Y'all maybe have not been doing many questions on my live, but y'all been booking. So that's fine if you've been booking. But let me just check my PayPal because we might have a shorter night too, which is good because I did say that. But we have from Jai, but let me just check my PayPal. We have one also from Casclo and Trisha. Okay. We have a few. We don't have much. So if you want to get them in now, guys, the questions, because there's only a few. When I'm done, I'll just wrap it up. Where am I going to go first? Jai. Okay. All right, Jai. Let me get you the link for Jai. So call in, Jai. So check your I'm gonna check your Venmo, Jai, because I'm gonna send you a link to dial in, and then until then we'll answer a question here that we have from Casclo. Casclo, what's going on, Casclo? Or can you say Casaglow? Casaglow. It sounds like a very good, nice little light, a neon light, Casaglow. Anyways, all right, sorry. I told you I'm a little flighty today. Scott, I'm so glad to catch you today. It's been a minute. Yes, it's been a minute. I know. How many minutes has it been? I knew things would be slow in June. They have been, and I knew it. But that's okay. I'm not taking it personally. And you don't have to be here every week either. I like when you guys are here every week. You don't have to be. But let me see your question here. We just have Jai backstage. We'll keep Jai backstage. Be with you in a moment, Jai. Okay, she says, it's been asking if the Febreze Stank company I've been working for is going to close its doors or make it through this recession. I think the universe is closing it, but I haven't left yet. Thanks, sweet. We're not in a recession. I know people say, you hear it everywhere, but it's also the financial analysis don't say we're not in a recession, and they don't predict a recession. That's the financial analysts have been saying. So yes, things are in a weird state of movement, but that's just that, right? Let me just double check and see if I feel closure on it. Is it gonna close? No, we're not in a recession. I said it, we're not. And the financial analysts said no. They took it off their forecast of there being one. Now they might be fear-mongering, like, oh, it's possible now, all that stuff, but no. Do I see closing? I don't know. I don't necessarily see it closing. I feel like eventually it's going to merge or something. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's like going to close and it's done. I think you might be too extreme in fear about this. I feel like merging and reconstructing of it. You know what I mean? So that's what I feel. And that could be soon, but also could be later. So there really is no predictable time frame on it. That's not written in the stars about like, oh, this is going to close at some time. But it feels like it's on its way to like merge, reshift, new owner, that type of thing in a sense. Yeah, the Two of Pentacles is like things are just out of balance. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to collapse and fall just because it's a little bit out of balance right now. So no, I don't see like immediate closure. But I'd say in the future there might be a merging or buyout or a new CEO type of thing. You know what I mean? That could happen in a couple months, but that could also happen in a couple years. So, but no, it's not on that path right now. But I do see like something where the lights are out and then it comes back in a sense. So that could just be new ownership in that sense. But yeah, I feel like but I do understand they're kind of like hanging by a thread energy. I get that too, but I just think that people are just being stupid. They're not being smart about leadership and how to maneuver around the unexpected. So I feel like the leadership and people who are handling things are just not insightful. So that might be emerging or switching where that might happen too. So it's very, very dynamical. It's not as simple, I would say. But you'll be fine either way. I don't feel like you'll have any job, anxiety. I'm just not feeling that. All right, let's get our friend Jai in the house. Jai, give me a moment. Let me get my earpiece so you don't echo on there and I can hear you. Un momento. Let me put this up so we're not looking at a black, ugly screen. All right. These stupid headphones that I still keep forgetting to buy different buds, but all right, you are here. Jai, what's going on?
Not much. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. So what's up? What questions do you have?
Yeah, a lot of things have kind of just changed. So I got into that relationship that I told you about recently ended, and it was like this really weird ending. We actually got pretty close, met her parents. We even went on a trip, and then after the trip, just ended.
What ended it though?
So we had some disagreements on small things.
Let me read it. Let me read it. Yeah, don't tell me. Let me read it. I'm like, why am I asking you? Let me read. Let me read it. That's my job is. And let me see, because I don't feel like it's over. I feel like it's temporary over. Remember I said she's got like a fear of abandonment issues, and I feel like she has a fear of like things failing and being left and all that stuff. So she's sensitive in that regard. So I think that if something goes slightly out of a direction that she's anticipating, she's going to shut down. You know, she will shut down. And so, and I feel like that's what's kind of happened here with your disagreement. I feel like they're just, I said, I don't know if I can do this. And so like, I can't, you know what I mean? So I feel like it's very impulsive and feels very temporary. You know, I feel like she will come back. I feel like she will either apologize or say, you know, I've been thinking about you. And so I feel like, even though it feels certain because these things happen, I feel like there would be, I don't feel like it's over. I don't think it's done. And I'm definitely not trying to give you a false sense of, I'm not trying to give you a false sense of hope, because that is the complete opposite of what I try to do. I tell people to run when they need to. But, you know, I just feel like this is one of those situations, like, you have to be patient with, you have to be slow with her and all that stuff, but still show her. Remember I was saying before, you have to kind of be careful in that regard, because she could, like I said, snap like that. Like we said in the previous time. And so I just feel like it's because she feels, again, that, you know, she might be abandoned or might be feeling that lost energy. Abandonment comes in different ways, Jai. Abandonment could be like the fact that, like, she thought someone was going to go good, but it left her. That's also how she takes abandonment. So I just feel like it's temporary. Doesn't feel long term. Okay. Like the breakup.
I mean, it kind of just felt like, because the way it ended, and then I tried reaching out, and she sent me like this almost like a chat GPT responsive, like, hey, you know, it's all good. I enjoyed our time together, and like, you know, something like that. And I was like, well, you know, I know you need space, right? That's the way I'm going to interpret this. I'm still
remember
here,
this.
but
Remember this exactly. We told you the last time when I read her, is that she's going to need a lot of that slowness and patience, you know, and that kind of fear. And that's why if those who have fear of abandonment will run away, need space, whatever the case is. Now, if I felt like she just wasn't into you, I'd say, look, she's not attracted. I would say that, but that's not what I'm feeling here. It has nothing to do with that. You know, and so, but I feel like she'll come back around again, but does that mean you have to wait for it? No, but I think at the same time, it's like, you know, I just feel like she's in a state of uncertainty and fear. That's how she feels right now to me, and just kind of like beside herself and not knowing what she like needs to do. You know, so, but you don't deserve to be dragged through that, but go on. You know how many times my partner, who I'm living with now, you know how many times we kind of split up? 5 times. Yeah, so, but that's because we were coming from so many different places. We have so many different backgrounds, and he was leaving a divorce. I was just resolving karma, you know, and trauma and stuff. And so, you know, and so it's just, we were just mismatching. And then we just kept coming back together and like understand, like, oh, like we actually can grow from this. And we did. And so all because there's stints like that doesn't mean that it's over. She's certain in that expression. She can come around too, which I feel like she will. And I don't want to sell you on this to give you false hope. That's how I feel. And my parents are high school sweethearts, but they had a deterrence. They met, then they had like a year apart. My dad married someone else and had a child, and then a year back went back to my mom around 19 years, 20 years of age, and they've been together ever since. And so, and they've always wanted each other in that sense. So sometimes things just, you know, take a little step off. But I just want you to understand, you know, perhaps that, you know, you just need to not push things in your mind too far or too quickly. You know what I mean? And that sometimes, you know, if someone hears that you want all this right now, they're like, I'm not ready for all that right now. And they take a step back too in fear because, you know, they don't want to hop in too quickly either. So that's why I told you the last time we spoke about her is like, take your time with her. Like, make sure you're being patient. Like, don't try to reverse things, because that will cause her to freak out. And she did.
Okay. Oh, no, that all makes sense. I guess, like, is she the one that I'm supposed to kind of like try even harder with, or is it like, is there going to be something different? Because I'm okay moving on at this point. I was like really sad about it, still am, but I don't want something that's like flighty, right? Like, if something doesn't fit perfectly, they're ready to just like okay, well, it's cool. I don't want this type of thing.
But that's
I'm
fear.
like,
You don't judge anybody for that's fear, right? Because that depends on where the premises are coming from. It's not like it's if she's saying like, "Oh, you're just not good enough. See ya. I need something better." That's one thing. She's like, "I'm fearful right now. Like, I don't know, this is a little bit too much for me right now. I'm not ready for all this right now. I got to take a step back." Like that. Many people don't know how to process those emotions, and being involved with someone is kind of intense, But I think again, it's what I've been telling you for a long time is like allow yourself to take your time. And so, what I would say is always move on in these phases, but like understand there's going to be another connection, another activation with her. But you have to also understand that be patient in this process. Like you don't need to be you're not trying to run to a goal with a relationship. The whole part of a relationship is getting to know that person, is to evolve it, not to like check the box of marriage. Which a lot of cultures try to do. You got to get married now, get a wife, and pre-arranged. It loses that sense of romanticism that you're looking for. Now, if you're just looking for just to get married and have kids, well, then find a conditional relationship, right? But I know you're not wanting that. You actually want romance. You want to be loved. You want to have a loving relationship. So you have to break the bounds of culture of I got to get married and get married now, young. Get that out of your head and say the joy is actually getting to know somebody. I'm looking for that romanticism.
Okay. Yeah.
And then you'll take your time. You take your time. So yeah, I feel like when you take a step back, she'll be like, oh, well, I maybe I made a mistake.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'll move forward with that sort of frame of mind. Just another question that I have on a separate topic. So that stock took off. It was great. Was able to sort of move profits into something new. But kept some in there still. Just want to know, good move moving forward. How do you?
Let me see. Well, based on what I'll just add to read the energy of how I don't know exactly what you're talking about because it broke up on my internet here. But so I don't need the question. I'll just read whether or not what you made is a good decision future wise. I mean, and I pull cards in it too, dude. It's like Justice card. Ace of Pentacles and the Magician. So that's really powerful. That means what you've done legally is good for you in the future, in the long run, the legal aspects of it. And also the Ace of Pentacles is all about, flourishing investments and investments going well. And also, like you see the palm of your hand, the Pentacle is always about coin and wealth, right? So it's coming, you have your hand on the matter. The Magician means you know what the fuck you're doing, right? So the Magician card is I know how to manipulate this financial market. I know how to, handle investments. So the confirmation is, yeah, what you did is the right decision. And you're thinking long term, right? So yeah, you just don't have mentorship to help guide you on that and help you to confirm. But of course, you're going to question yourself when you're still developing your aspects and your trade and your skill set. But your spirit's definitely saying that it was the right decision to do for the long run. Okay. And I love how the three cards came together about legally, it's like the aspect of the physical and the spiritual. Legally, you did the right thing in the aspects of finances and for the future, and also the Magician card is all intuitively you did it, and that you have a way to in the financial market.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Last thing.
Yeah.
So at the workplace, things have gotten kind of emotional. Really, it's just messed up. So I ended up talking to some higher up management about the stuff that I'm going through with my manager and sort of our organization. It doesn't feel like it's getting anywhere. Do you mind giving sort of your insight on that and how you see things developing?
What question specifically about it?
Do things get better here, or do I end up somewhere else? To that sort of that. That type of question.
I think let me see. I don't know if this one's very concrete to me. No, I think what you're feeling is, I think when you're an emotional person, so I think that when things do get emotionally in a what's the word, in a funk, then I feel like you think it's the end of things. When it's just like sometimes things get emotional, sometimes things get tough, sometimes things get anxious, sometimes people get angry, and I just feel like that's the situation here at the company. It's just, and it's been kind of, people have been very emotional in June because of the fact it's a very introspective month and people are on edge. And so there's been a lot of that kind of in June anyways, this month collectively. So that doesn't mean that everything comes to an end because there's an emotional discord. And so I think you might be taking it personally. But no, I think that things will go back to normal with that too. You think there's a lot of ending to things. I think what life is trying to show you is that, like, dude, just learn how to weather the storm in certain situations. And if you look, when we said you were going to have 2 dates that were going to be nothing, and I saw a third coming in that was going to mean something, and I said I couldn't tell you whether or not it's going to be long term or not, right? But I felt like it was going to be more substantial. If you look at your evolution, those 2 were like not as deep as this situation here. This was more connected than, and if you even want to look at your life, it's you're getting closer in a sense, right? For things to really match into what you're wanting, right? So you are in that inward trajectory. I knew this one would be. I said, and I always use the term, and I said before, this will be your ticket to love, either through her or through somebody else. Like, you'll need this experience with her, because this one will kind of put the nail in the coffin. Even with her, there's like, then you guys come back and this with her, or it's because experience, you really kind of refine like what you're good at and what you deserve and what you really want in your relationships, that it gives you that connection to love. Some people I see, because you're young, I see, oh, it's going to be later on in life. I feel like love is still like going to be in your younger years. I don't think it's going to be, you have to wait till your late 30s and 40s. I think it's going to be in your younger years. And so it's just like, pace it out a little bit better is what they're saying. And I think you went a little too fast for her emotionally and energetically and that freaked her out.
Yeah. I mean, it just felt like we were both kind of going at the same pace because of the chemistry, and
it scared her.
Yeah, and I mean, she seems sort of like a perfectionist in the sense where she wanted me to fit a certain mold, and as soon as I didn't,
Well, that happens when they're fearful about the chemistry, right? A lot of times that happens like, well, I'm fearful of this. So then you have to in order for her to be in control, then she's got to take control. Like, we'll do this and do this mold because she's in fear. She's got to take control. How do I know? I used to do that. I've been on both sides of that spectrum. I used to be that person. Like, when I'm out of control, I feel like things are heavy. I go, well, I don't know. You're dressing a little too much for me here. And like, I've been through that. And then I was on the other side when I was with someone. They were getting fearful. They were starting critiquing everything. And I was like, what the fuck? So I know that energy very well. And there's another side of that energy which someone's just vapid, but I don't feel like the energy connection with you was vapid with her. So she has some things to work through, and I feel like she will. So she'll be back in time, but I don't know the timing. It could be a month, it could be 2 months, or it could be. I don't want you to sit around and wait for that. I want you to pull that energy back so she can feel that, and that will let her feel like she'll know it's maybe what she's let go of, and process that. Yeah. So, but that's for you. That's what I was telling you before with this. The last time is like, be patient with her, take your time with her, because she has a tendency, because she does have abandonment issues as well, where she can jump ship quick, and that's her way of being in control.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
All right, keep me posted, Jai. Good to see you, buddy. But everything's like I said, you're always in the right direction. I never saw you not in the right direction with things. Just don't take things personal when there's a little bit of an emotional ruckus with things. But like I said before, sometime with this company, you will merge out of it and expand out of it. It just doesn't feel like it's now, but you will in time because your choice.
Okay. Yeah, no, I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Good to see you, brother, man. Have a good rest of your night, dude. Good to see you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, there we go. Hope you guys learn something from these reads too, because it's true. Like, a lot of times we're passionate about things, and sometimes our own passion could get ahead of us, and we can end up having things backfire. I've done that a lot in my life. I'll tell you that. So, Jai is not doing anything that's not uncommon, I would say. Boy, do I look like a mess today? My hair looks like a freaking mess today. I just kind of threw stuff in it and feel like pondering about so much. So I might even look like a mess tonight, don't I, guys? Comment. Do I look like a mess tonight? Is it my hair messy? I just was like, put on a shirt. I'm like, I don't want to overthink what I'm going to do and overthink this hair thing. I just want to throw it up, and wherever it goes, it goes. So if I do look scraggly, I apologize. But you'll get me in every different modality of energy. Okay. Let's go here. And I love how, these things just log me out. It's a beautiful hot mess, so it's still a hot mess. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, we have a question from Trisha Mar. I'll just say that. You look hot, a hot mess. All right, I'll take it. I don't know if I like planing it down when hanging it down a little bit more and not having to groom it. I don't know. You guys can let me know. Hey Scott, I like that style. I don't like that style. I like the feedback too. That's my Virgo vanity. Trisha Marr. I'm just going to shorten the last name for security reasons. My husband and I have not found a new rental home yet and home to be moved out of current home by July 15th. When will our rental home be available? We want to live in Blue Mountains, Ontario. Is there alignment for this location? Okay, that's a better question. Is there alignment for Ontario? Yes. Whether or not there's an availability when it's going to become available is not a predictable question, because it depends on how you align with it and when you decide to open your space up. Let me just see why you're not. Well, there's a trepidation or an anxiety with your husband's energy that's kind of getting in the way of you guys aligning with the right location. You have to make sure you're talking with your husband and make sure he's in alignment. I feel like he's feels trepidatious or not really certain where he wants to go, and so there's that kind of energetic wrench that's thrown in the mix here. I also feel like he's still kind of holding on to so I think his energy is kind of ruining things. So you can either say, well, whatever energy he is, we're moving, we have to, and not let that affect it in just on the energetic side of things. And just take more control of understanding specifically where you want to go and that you're going to find something. So I know you will by that time. I do definitely feel you'll have by the 15th, but the reason why you're not connecting is because your energy with your husband feels discordant a little bit about it. Something doesn't feel like you guys are on the same page about this move, and so I want you to get that resolved, and then things will happen. You'll find the right perspective. So, but I feel like you'll do it before the 15th. You'll find it quickly in this case, in that sense, in the nick of time. But that's not predictable because life is running based on your participation and action in this situation, and until you resolve that kind of whatever is not in agreement with your husband, then things will pick up. He might not be saying something too. He might not be telling you, I don't want to go there. I don't want to, he might be doing something that's stalling it energetically. And then we also have the current that was in June. So yeah, July would be a great time to find that too. So I feel like you guys will. And the Ontario location, it might be slightly off from the Blue Mountains, but closer to it. So it might be a slight variant of where you're wanting, but there's no mismatch of energy for the location. Location feels just fine and just as open, just as clear. Might be a slight variation where you wanted to go, but something that's good. It's for example, when I was moving, I wanted to move to Genoa, Nevada, right? Which beautiful. And that's where I was telling my partner, I said, we'll rent in Genoa, we'll find out where we want to buy after that. And so, but it didn't work out. We didn't rent in Genoa. We ended up renting slightly off Reno and Sparks, which is really beautiful too, actually. And I'm see why now we had to, but we're talking about maybe buying in Genoa. So you see what I'm saying? So you might have the idea that it's the Blue Mountains, Ontario, but it might be slightly offset from that, but still what you like. And then eventually maybe you gravitate there. So understand that's what I'm getting with that. A lot of these questions are just anxiety questions, really. So, thank you, Rhonda. I appreciate it. I don't know if I was digging it or not. Sometimes I feel like, hey, I feel like doing something. Not working on the curls. Let's get the whole messy look. Because I never get to be messy. So why not just do messy? I look back, the hairs I was doing, I'm like, oh, gosh. What was I thinking? And then some ooh, I want to redo that again. Okay, what's the card pull for Rhonda Anderson? Okay. Rhonda. Where? Okay, I just lost my card here. I shuffled twice and the card came out for you. Now it's stuck. Here it is. Thank you. God dang. Let me reshuffle and pull another too. Messy is bestie. Okay. Hey, in comparison to some YouTubers I see, some YouTubers are what is that hair? Especially with the younger generations, they look like they have pineapples on their heads. So I guess I'm not too bad on the poof and messy. I like that. Messy is bestie. Rhonda, there's a grandmother energy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, there's a grandmother energy that you need to reach out to. That's in spirit, I feel like, to connect with you. So this is more of a spiritual read. And so if you're getting any type of visions or dream states about like your grandmother, like she's trying to connect in. And if you haven't, you'll start getting them. I feel there's a very nurturing grandmother energy. I feel like it's a maternal and paternal fighting over each other. I don't know. So maybe there's two. Because I was going to say, was it maternal or paternal? I feel like a fight between the two of them. So, but I think you'll understand when you start seeing the visions. Please embrace that, because I feel like there needs to be more connection through this ancestry. Like I feel like this ancestry through your grandmother will kind of reveal more where you're at in your own spiritual path right now. And that'll bring good spiritual information to you. So if you've been getting these signs or reminiscences of that grandmother energy, then understand she is trying to connect with you. If you haven't, you'll start seeing it connect in. Okay. Because it'll give you a lot more insight about maybe where you come from, because a lot of times spirit will like reactivate things about like to learn more about ourselves, especially if we're evolving spiritually. So that's actually spirit nudging you in this card pull. So that's pretty cool. So reach out. What's that song? I'll be there. Na, 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 do. Right? I'll be there. Now I'm starting to remember that song. Isn't that right? Reach Out song. I was like trying to remember it in my head. Na 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 do, right? And then it just changes. Na 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 no no, right? Fucking, I gotta listen to that song after the session. That song's in my head now. Maybe that's what your grandmother sent you that song too. Because like, why am I stuck singing on the live show with this song? I'm trying to remember. That song comes to mind too, Rhonda. Okay, so perhaps like there's a significance of that song, or maybe you'll hear that song too. I like that song. I want to play it. It's like the oldie song. And when you feel that you can't go on, na, 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 reach out, you know, I'll be there, na, 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 do. That song. I want to play it now. See, I'm a little flighty today. I gotta play that song. I fucking love that song. I forgot about it. Anyway, let's move on. I don't know why I got caught in that little loop with that song for a minute. There's an energy. Maybe someone just needs that song to connect with that song. And Trisha, yeah, it could be your energy, but there's a lack of agreement with you and your husband. It needs to be fixed. And it feels like not wanting to move on, or like having to have it a certain way. So like rewind and just kind of be flexible in those areas. And I think you'll shift that energy to where you and your partner are in sync. Whether it's your energy or his energy, there's still like something that's sync with it. You know what I mean? But the move is going to be good. It's going to be a good move. You're going to be thankful for the move. You're going to be like happy when you move. So it's a good thing. So embrace it. It's going to be a great move. You guys would love it. You would love it. Don't fret. Okay. Don't fret. Okay. Next is from Karma. Scott, any virtual fortune cookie message? There's a huge decision to me to make. I enjoy your energy tonight. Oh, thank you. Okay. How do I even read this? Because this is like that. This card threw me for a curveball with you, which is the Lover's card and the Tower card. What is this saying to me? I feel this is general because it's a general read, right? But it feels like things are really shifting. Perhaps things are falling down, right? So when we talk about the Tower card is really about breaking things down, but that's so general, right? And of course, card pulls are general. But I feel for you, it's kind of like a reordering of things in your life right now. You know, and it's also, I feel like this breaking down is like breaking down the things that were hiding falsehoods in a sense as well. So like whatever falsehoods that has been happening or been holding you and stalling you, it gets breaking down, right? So I think they're saying in a matter of time, like all these things will be revealed. So we've been talking about Revelation in June. I think these things will be revealed in a sense, you know. And the Lover's card, to me, it feels like there is an aspect of a new chapter of love. And I think I'm going to take that, you know, generally, because I think it's going in the direction of like really kind of focusing on love now, like relationship love, but also love of what you want to do and being able to do it. So this is an ending to something. It's an ending to something that has been built up for so long. you know, something you've been focusing on or whatnot, or for a while. Like, it's just, it's done. It's over. It's crumbled. You know, and all the bullshit's kind of falling down too. So that's the energetic read there, without a specific question. But I have a feeling that will also kind of answer your question about your decision too, actually. So, all right, let me see. I'm just seeing if there's any more, and I think that concludes the readings for tonight. And as I said, it's been slow the past couple weeks, and I'm completely fine with that, because I got a partner in there who I want to go have fun with, and go laugh, and it's still light out here. It actually gets dark late here in Sparks Valley. Like, it gets dark. The sun doesn't set till like 9:30. So like 9 o'clock, there's still like the sun. So I'm like, we have some time. So, and we bought a fire pit. We haven't really used it. And it's been gorgeous out. So I'm going to use a fire pit tonight. We put lights out on the patio, that change color, like these string lights. And so like, we're going to sit out there and use it. Maybe, have some cannabis. He likes, my partner's trying to get me to do mushrooms or edibles. I'm like, I don't know if I can. I already see enough without that shit. I'm afraid if I have like, mushrooms or something, I feel like I'd see too much and like never come back, So I'm like, I have that fear about doing mushrooms and edibles. So I stick my little vape, my cannabis. It's called Betty White. I do my self-reflection and stuff. And so, we have Abby Co. Sorry, I didn't check my Venmo. Carpool for Abby Co. But yeah, so I have things to enjoy. But yeah, let's do this. Let's shuffle for Abby Co. And let's put on that pensive music for Abby Co. as a shuffle. I'm too low. All right. Last but certainly not least, Abby Co. That sounds like a nice Abby Co. I don't need this on. I don't know why I still have that freaking thing on. All right. Abby Co. Abby, that should be a product name for a product that you create. Abby Co. I don't know why. Gummy time. Yeah, see, a lot of people like gummies in the house too. They're very helpful too, like medicinal wise, like the CBD gummies and stuff like that. It helps a lot. It helped my uncle when he was going through cancer, and he's dealt it for 11 years, and he's like on the other side of it. It's amazing. And he used to take the CBD gummies just to help him with his pain when he was doing chemo. So there's a lot of great things to that too, numbing effects. All right, I'm just still shuffling for Abby Co. Or just say Abby. Yes, it's called Betty White. I love it. The Betty White strain. There's a reason why they call it Betty White. Okay. I don't know any real spiritual people that don't interact with the ganj or any, psychedelics, or, you know what I mean? I'm just not ready for psychedelics. I see enough as is, but yeah. How do I want to take this card read here? Guys aren't easy tonight with the simplicity, dynamical. That's cool too. I'm just shuffling some oracles because I'm not really sure about where I want to go with this card pull. Really, I'm just gonna maybe not think about it too much. Perhaps that's the whole point. Maybe you're overthinking things right now, Abby. I think that's what I'm picking up on, because I don't usually overthink my reads. If I am, it means you're overthinking. And I think that they're saying you're maybe not looking out. You're not looking in the bigger outside the box you're in, because the Three of Wands is kind of looking beyond. It's kind of like the Two of Wands too, but the Two of Wands, like, you're in between. Like, you understand you're in between. Look at this. Three of Wands is like, I have a mission ahead, but I haven't really got there, but I'm still looking at it. We're saying, stop looking at it, start doing it. When the Seven of Swords comes up for me, like, you have a lot of fear of moving forward because of, if people are going to be dishonest. Like, I think that you're letting people hold you back, and you're letting what people may do, or, whether or not they're trustworthy or not, that's holding you back from moving forward. They're saying, stop doing that. right now. And, 10 of Wands in reverse is saying, is like, release those burdens, stop carrying those responsibilities of how people may see you, what you have to do in order for yourself to be happy and to start your own mission and what you're wanting to express. Like, let go of it. Unburden yourself with that. So to me, it's a sign of like, I love this surrender just came out too for you too, like surrender. Like, let me be clear about surrender before I close this. Surrender is just like saying like, you're not fighting that battle. Like, that's not my like, that's in this case a surrender. Like, this isn't my battle to fight. Like, what people think is not my battle to fight, and whether or not people think about what I want to do or not in my life is not my battle to fight. So I'm going to do the things I want to do and move forward with my career purpose. You know what I mean? And I feel like that career purpose is working with other people too. I feel like you should be working with others or guiding others in some modality, some modality. And so I want you to put that, whatever that modality is of interacting and helping others and guiding others and leading others in that facet, find out what that means for you, in which context, and own that. And don't be so concerned about how other people may think about what you're doing or not think about what you're doing, and whether or not there's people that are trustworthy is going to prevent you from doing it. I mean, you're going to find people who are trustworthy just as much as you can find people that are trusting too. And so don't let that hold you back. So it's an emotional read. It's an emotional read, and it's really hard to be, so specific on card pulls, but especially when they pick up on an energetic state. But that's something they want you to consider, and it also could be relationships, Abby. It could be like you're in relationships that aren't trustworthy and get rid of them, and get out of that relationships, those relationships that are untrustworthy. Resolving the past, they're saying too, past circumstances, resolving that stuff that we say in spirituality all the time, right? But also, you actually might take a trip, and so that also might be something that, you do take a trip overseas or take a trip to get you outside of your scope or spectrum, and so, but yeah. That might be something that will help you to get out of this box that we're saying, get you moving. And it's not that it's so much about what people are thinking. It's more about whether or not people can accept it, right? What people are going to appreciate. So, for example, it's not so much like what they think about you or not. It could be the fact of, if I do this, will they accept it? Will it be successful if I did that? It's more like that. Thinking about how other people are thinking, or can I trust these people? It's like that, that's been getting in the way. Not the fact you care what people say about you if they think, oh, I don't like her, like not that type of thing. But when that people you decide to interact with, are they trustworthy? That type of energy we're talking about. And saying it doesn't matter, what people are, you meet people where you're at. And so remind yourself of this so you can move forward with that endeavor and understand how you can start working with people and leading people to a certain degree and whatever facet that is. Okay, I can't go on too much because it's so general as a carpool, but and let me just double check that we're done here, and then we'll close out with, I'm going to close out with actually one of my songs, actually, because I think it's time that we do Come Alive, Okay, so yeah, that was the last. Let me just double check PayPal. I wish this all goes one thing. And yes, I did them all. Okay, great. Okay, and so let me just close this down here. In closing, guys, let me go give a little closing statement for y'all, because I definitely want to kind of like send you off with something that's going to be helpful for the week here. Why is my overlays here not working here? Okay, yes. The thing to remember, though, guys, for this week is there's a lot of anxiety going on with this month, right? Don't let anxiety blur your perspective on things, because a lot of the questions I was getting this week has been a lot centered around anxiety, and more so like there's really nothing you're questioning other than how to soothe or ease the question you feel uncertain about, right? And the maneuvering of life. And so for me, I think it's time to understand, like, well, the anxiety just means that you're still not listening to yourself, you're not hearing yourself out, and you're not considering what's true for you and understanding. Again, it sounds very repetitive from the reads earlier, is that like you're on a mission here in your own personal life. Where are you going? And why can't you get there? Why couldn't you do it, right? So there should be no anxiety about the things that are happening. Even if the job did go away, well, then it's time to go away. And clearly maybe you overstayed and maybe it's time to evolve out of that. There's plenty of other jobs out there. Like, we need to start having that sense of rationale that most people don't have, that I find. And there's a lot of questions I get. I'm like, this isn't really a psychic question. This is just like, I need to ease you on your anxiety. And that's fine too. That's completely fine too. At least my psychic awareness, like there's nothing wrong here, but let me just try to ease you up. That's also read. But I'm just seeing a consistent current there. So make sure you guys are really understanding what's really bringing the anxiety. And a lot of it is just suppressing what you're feeling or suppressing where you know you want to go. And don't confuse excitement for anxiety either, because there's a lot of trepidation and there's a lot of energy building up that we're excited about that we're unaware of. So understand that if you feel that sense of anxiety that comes out of nowhere, it could be excitement, that you're feeling something. Ask your intuition. Is there something coming? Do I feel like something is about to like connect? And you'll have more clear insight. Not that you shouldn't ask these questions to me. You definitely do, because I can also double check. No, there's nothing bad here, or no, it's just this, and just, you know, sometimes that's a lot of our questions that we have to do too. You know, and questions we have to answer as readers as well. And so you guys got it. Y'all's got it. Y'all's got it. So I'm going to close actually, so you guys maybe can mingle and chat a little bit longer with my song "Come Alive," because I feel like it's July. We're going to be coming alive. It'll taking off. So I'm just like, I feel like I just want to play that song, and you know, chill out in the comment section. There's lyrics on the screen. Enjoy that, and I will see you guys next week. Where is the? There it is. Okay. And if you didn't check out, you know, yesterday's episode of Leading Out Loud, check it out. Check out the pre-recording. If you just like coming here too. Come check out. Hang out with me next Thursday. If you want to book a one-on-one session with me, scottcruzpm.com. One-on-one sessions. I just cleaned up my website. I will be starting the whole TikTok thing and picking up on that again. I feel urged to. So I'll probably post links to that there too. I don't know how I'm going to navigate this social media journey, but Nina's going to help me. I'm going to hire her on to help me there. So we'll be doing a lot more different things and different changes coming up. And I don't know yet exactly, but I feel it. And so sometimes Spirit's like, yeah, I just feel it. You don't need to know it right now. So I'm like, all right, cool. I love the mystery, Spirit. Thanks. But remember, guys, you guys are all the gods and goddesses of your own myth. I love you all. Good night. See you next week.
Scott Cruz is popularly known for his life-changing one-on-one readings to also guide in your soul ascension journey. With life readings, get insight into your relationships, career, health, trauma healings, past life regressions, and more. Want to connect with a loved one who's transitioned? Scott's mediumship session can be the gateway to you and your loved ones in spirit, bridging the gap between the physical and the spiritual realm. If you want to enhance your own psychic ability, Scott's Intuition Builder session can help expand your psychic and mediumship abilities. So sign on to scottcruzpm.com to book your own personal session today.